Yesterday, Toyota President Koji Sato pointed that the problem lies within the in the communication in the company, where the ground workers are not able to communicate properly with the management. And
you can see in the numbers now, these price wars are really taking a toll.
Yeah, and you see the level of the profitability, especially when you calculate the fourth quarter, is much lower than what you saw in the third quarter. And this is despite record sales.
Well, the Cybertruck is on display at the Tesla store behind me. This weekend, the company started showcasing the futuristic new vehicle,
sending a lot of people just crowding in to see that. Look at, they've got their phones out, they want the pictures.
All that and more. So let's get to it. Tesla stock is up in the pre-market a little over 2%, sitting at $195.39. I saw what I needed to see from Tesla yesterday, over a 4% gain at the closing of the bell. When the market opens this Tuesday morning, I fully expect Tesla stock to dip going into 9 a.m. Central Time, because that's the only time zone that matters. And if the RSI is right, I will be placing a call that expires on Friday and maybe even next Friday.
Toyota just found out that its subsidiary, Toyota Industries, had been issuing certificates which were not true. They were rigged. The finding came after the investigation started with the forklifts that Toyota Industries used to produce, and the investigation then led to the engines, diesel engines used in Toyota Motors cars. Yesterday, Toyota President Koji Sato pointed that the problem lies within the in the communication in the company, where the ground workers are not able to communicate properly with the management, and hence these issues have been happening not only just with Toyota Industries but Daihatsu and Hino, even other subsidiaries of Toyota.
Ouch. Tesla does everything in their power to try to mitigate these situations right here. Workers not being able to talk to management about problems? Ugh.
So what's Toyota's plan to resolve these issues?
Well, Koji Sato yesterday said that they're going to make a system where the voice of ground workers is heard properly. And then he also pointed that the problem actually lies, if we look at all the three subsidiaries, the problem lies at the understanding of engineers toward certification. So they need to raise the understanding towards certification and build a system where management, where the communication is proper between the ground workers and the management. Other than that, they said they're going to rebuild the whole management in Toyota Industries and make efforts, but no specified plans are out as yet. We're expecting Toyota to give comments maybe today or very soon regarding the issue.
There's nothing you can do. This is ingrained inside your company. People don't like bad news, so they surround themselves with yes men, telling them everything that they want to hear. No, that certification, that's good, that's good. The path of least resistance is something that humans tend to gravitate toward. And it's not just Toyota having this problem, it's all legacy auto. They've gotten complacent. The ones that are able to shake off the illusionary fog of success and tread the path of disrupting themselves are the ones that are going to survive the decade.
You can see in the numbers now, these price wars are really taking a toll.
Yeah, and you see the level of the profitability, especially when you calculate the fourth quarter, is much lower than what you saw in the third quarter. And this is despite record sales. So you can see the big hit that the car company, someone like BYD, is having to take, and at least in the year end, to try and hit its annual sales.
Tesla remains firmly in the driver's seat, with industry-leading margins, adjusting their price for the modulating demand in real time. Based on their production capacity and the orders that they're receiving from the Tesla website, Tesla will choose a price point that gets the vehicle out to the customer in the most timely fashion. The name of the game isn't margin, it's volume.
Right, and if these sorts of greater forces are showing up in BYD, they're probably going to show up in the others, aren't they?
Absolutely, and for the others, they have significantly smaller levels of sale, and for those players, they've also been struggling financially, trying to do deals to ensure that they can shore up their balance sheets, raise funds. So BYD is still in a very strong position, and you still contrast that with last week, of how Tesla performed.
Yeah.
It still had very good set of numbers, although not as good as what the market expected, and then no guide into 2024. But for BYD, they've come off many multi-years of growing and investing, and now that's all paying off.
An incremental decrease in price creates an exponential increase in demand. As far as Tesla is concerned, when that demand exceeds their level of production, the prices will go back up. If Tesla continues to increase their production, which they've already said growth will be notably lower in the year of 2024, growth is still growth. Maybe the prices stabilize. Maybe the demand exceeds their production and the prices have to go higher. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know. But if I were a betting man, and I am, I would not be betting against Elon Musk.
Tesla begins its Cybertruck tour in China, and it's been getting a lot of social media buzz there ahead of this trip. Our Eunice Yoon joins us live from Beijing with more on what's at stake.
Well, the Cybertruck is on display at the Tesla store behind me. This weekend, the company started showcasing the futuristic new vehicle in 8 Chinese cities, including here in Beijing. Now, Tesla continues to be a fan favorite among EV drivers here, despite the fierce competition by local brands. One of the criticisms, though, of Tesla is that it doesn't refresh its models quickly enough, especially when compared to some of its Chinese rivals.
To those that know, Tesla refreshes their vehicles much more frequently than anybody on the planet. The exterior design, while aesthetically pleasing, is there on purpose. Even when you're talking about the Cybertruck, battery electric vehicles need an optimal design when you're talking about wind resistance and the impact on the vehicle's range and battery life. There's no need to make 4 or 5 different versions of the Model 3 and Y. That level of unnecessary complexity is what would crater Tesla's industry-leading margins. A slight exterior refresh every 4 or 5 years, but loading it with the best technology the industry has to offer? Yeah, I'll take that any day of the week, and twice on Sunday.
Now, for this Cybertruck, Tesla has not officially announced that the Cybertruck would come here to China. In fact, Elon Musk has gone on record as to say that it's going to be difficult. And one of the issues has been the regulatory environment, especially around trucks. But one point that was really interesting and picked up upon by a lot of the fans is that the name of the Cybertruck in Chinese avoids the word truck. So that's seen as a way for Tesla, perhaps, to eventually launch the Cybertruck here.
Look, the Cybertruck is the halo vehicle. This is what's going to bring Chinese individuals into the Tesla storefront. They might not be able to purchase the Cybertruck, but I fully expect the other models coming out of Shanghai will get an uptick in sales. And look, the Cybertruck is only the beginning. Did Tesla stop at the Model S? Of course they didn't. 4 or 5 years from now, I wouldn't be surprised if there is a smaller version of the Cybertruck. Smaller, so it could meet the regulations of other countries other than America. But for now, the Cybertruck's presence overseas is simply to drum up more brand awareness for Tesla and maybe get a boost in the sales department.
Meantime, Tesla is generating a lot of buzz overseas. The EV maker kicked off its Cybertruck tour in China over the weekend, sending a lot of people just crowding in to see that. Look at, they've got their phones out, they want the pictures. Tesla has not announced whether the truck will indeed be sold in China, likely due to regulatory hurdles tied to pickup trucks in the country. But despite the uncertainty in China, Tesla might finally be on a rebound. Shares surged 4% today. It's its 6th positive session this year. Okay, so here you had Tesla kind of sitting out the rally this year. What propels that to turn around?
Well, last week, they decided not to guide for 2024. And, with portfolio managers, they shoot first or sell first, ask questions later, because usually when you don't guide and you've been guiding, it's usually bad news. I think what happened is Elon, he doesn't have his old CFO, Zach, to tell him, you have to guide. And I think he just said, screw it, I'm not going to guide for this year. I don't want to be beholden to Wall Street for guidance. And I think what happened is that caused the stock to get smashed. Now, after the weekend, people thought about it and said, wow, stock's selling it about a 43 times PE to next year, which is very cheap. Hasn't been that cheap since last year. Remember, during the spring, it went up like from 108 to 270. And then you got all these catalysts for this year. So, people believe that the auto gross margin has bottomed. The fourth quarter gross margin was higher than the third quarter. So that That's a support point. You got the $7,500 EV credit off invoice. You got the Cybertruck you just mentioned, the halo effect. So people see the Cybertruck and they go to the website or they go to the store and they buy a Tesla. You got the Model 3 refresh. You got FSD, which keeps getting better and better. So I think when you think about all the catalysts, the stock is cheap, it's washed out. And I think people just said today, enough. There's a reason to own Tesla. It still looks pretty reasonable from a pricing standpoint, but you got to get these catalysts to actually work.
Can you weigh in on the compensation plan to make sure that Elon Musk is keeping his brain power at Tesla?
Yeah, look, he's got, if he's got 13% today, he's got options that are worth another, let's call it 5% after, he has to pay some capital gains tax on them if he exercises them. So you basically got to get the board to say, we're going to give him another 7%. I have no issue with that. I would rather keep him because I know that if he left Tesla, stock would go down 20, 25%. But you have to have, big market cap goals and big net income goals. So, the market cap for Tesla today is about $600 billion. If you had some market cap goals that start at maybe $1 trillion and then $1.5 trillion and $2 trillion, and you have net income goals, then I think, most shareholders would be fine with that as long as, he has these stretch goals he has to make in order to get paid.
Gary's right on all accounts. Elon definitely made the executive decision not to guide, and the stock was definitely punished for it. Missing on the top and the bottom line, that was just the cherry on top. But now, the company is looking dirt cheap. Tesla isn't going anywhere. It's making money hand over fist. The company damn near sold 1.25 million Model Ys last year. And you best believe, the more Teslas Tesla sells, the more Teslas Tesla will sell. The adoption rate from when I first bought my Model 3 here in the Houston area to now is absolutely staggering. And the trend is only going to continue. Why, do you ask? They're the safest vehicles on the road. They have the most functionality of anything on four wheels. The performance is immaculate. But the real reason will be that of full self-driving. I can't wait to get my hands on version 12 of the beta. And we haven't even talked about Tesla's next generation platform. Yeah, there's a lot to like about the future of Tesla. In conclusion, the problems over there at Toyota are only just beginning. But they're not alone in that. All of Legacy Auto will be facing similar challenges in the future. How they respond to this adversity will likely dictate their survival chances going into 2030. BYD misses their earning estimates as well. This will not bode well for those EV startups over there in China, Li Auto, XPeng, etc. But one thing's for certain, Tesla's in the driver's seat with this alleged price war due to their industry-leading margins. And in my opinion, it's not even a price war. It's Tesla conducting business as usual. Remember, the EV adoption rate is only at about 1/3 over there in China. There's still 66% of the internal combustion engine market share to be eaten into. You're not dropping the price to compete with BYD or Li Auto's vehicles. You're enticing that 66% to finally make the transition to battery electric vehicles. And to help nudge that along, Tesla sent over the big brother Cybertruck. I have a feeling that web traffic will be going up in the next couple of weeks. And I gotta agree with Gary Black. Tesla is about as cheap as I ever could have expected it. I'm buying as much Tesla stock as I possibly can while still saving a little money for some long-term options here in the future. That's all I've got for you today. Be easy. Peace.